Right. Thanks again, Masters. We'll do the first half an hour of wisdom sharing for Friday, and then we'll have the Paurnami meditation, the full moon meditation, followed by this. Right. So today we'll keep it brief, but the content is very crisp. We'll talk about awareness. We'll talk about energy. We'll talk about the fundamentals as to how the whole thing works together. Right. So we all understand that awareness, which is the root of witnessing intelligence, right? What is the very name awareness mean, right? Because my purpose of doing meditation, my ultimate goal of living is with awareness. We all understand that. But how much of us are living in that state of witness? How much of us are in that state of observing without reacting, right? So it is, what is awareness? This is the fundamental question, right? We say that, hey, if I do meditation, the outcome of meditation is awareness. Or what does it mean? Right? So what awareness is all about is the background presence that notices everything, right? If I ask, hey, how do you define awareness? Awareness is a background presence that notices everything, whether it is a thought, a energy, a emotion, a action, a word, whatever it is. It is not thinking. It is basically observing without reacting. This is awareness. And that awareness is what you are, right? So, how does this work? What is the key law that governs this? Is whatever you are aware, right? Whatever you are aware, and that begins to change. We always have to remember what you are aware of begins to change. That's it. If you are unaware of your anger, then you have reaction. If you are aware of your anger, then you respond. Either you respond or you are in silence. So the fundamentally, if we say that, okay, everything what we are is governed by energy, and how does that energy qualify? Through awareness. So awareness determines the quality of energy. That's why it is fundamental. That's why when you are in the state of awareness, you cannot make mistake. It's not like you would not make, you cannot. It's an exact opposite. You cannot be sinful because you are aware. That is the power of awareness. And meditation gives you that. So if I try to say, okay, awareness determines the quality of energy, then what is energy? How does it constitute in managing my thoughts, in managing and supporting my emotions, in tracking my words, actions, relationships, everything to come together. Right? So there is a very deepened interconnectedness between all these things. What we are, our thoughts are, what we are thinking, what we are emotionally connecting, and how the emotions become the factors that come in as words, right? The expression of emotion is through words. And of course, the behavior of that pattern is actions, right? So let us talk about some of these things, trying to understand where it all gets started and how does this route together. The fundamental layer that supports everything together is energy. Energy is the basis of everything. And we all know energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, it can only be transformed. Right? Every piece of the action or any piece of the activity or the touch that you are giving, you're only transforming the energy. Right? Fundamentally, if we talk about energy, we are all, we talk about, hey, I'm an energy being, right? We talk about energy. It's the base field, right, of everything, whether it is a body, mind, emotion, thought, interactions, relationships, right? It's basically the bioelectrical signals that touches your nervous system and hormones in a scientific way, right? In the inner sense, you talk about this as life force, the prana, the consciousness, whatever, there are like a lot of different names to this by different religions. But I think the point is, it's all that fundamental base field that is running everything together, right? When we say that, hey, I'm an energy body, I'm energy mind, I'm energy, everything is energy, energy, energy. When energy becomes solid, it's matter. That's what my body is all about, right? When it is subtle, it is my emotions, thoughts, words, and it becomes more subtler, then it goes into the deeper state of my other bodies. But ultimately, it is the energy that is transforming in different ways, and how this fundamental life force is running together. So, if I cannot create this energy, I can only transform this energy. What are the ways for which I can transform this energy? That's the science behind it, right? The fundamental layer. So how do I bring an act together to make sure that everything is running as per the key principles, right? The key principle in energy is energy always precedes experience, right? What does it mean, right? After a deep meditation, you will get calm energies. After a emotional burst like fear or anger, you will have disturbed or distorted energies. So if we try to bring some perspective on energy, energy becomes the soil in which thoughts and emotions grow, right? It is the soil in which your thoughts and emotions grow. That is the fundamental of everything, that who we are. If I am able to direct my energy, if I am able to move my energy, if I am able to, seclude my energy in a way that I want it, then I can manifest anything. That's the reality. So when I talk about a thought process, how do I bring my thinking process, right? Hey, how do I look at it when I'm thinking? What am I doing? In the process of thinking, what is happening? Can anyone talk about it? What is happening when you are thinking?
Energy is taking the form of the thoughts, emotions, or what are the thoughts of that?
Mhm. In the sense of energy, see what is thinking all about is, thinking is you're analyzing, right? What else? What is happening in thinking?
We lose the energy while thinking.
Okay, yes, that's true. But what else? What is thinking?
The conversation in the mind and the images it will come.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So if I bring the perspective, what is thinking, right? It is my mental movement, right? Active mental movement that does analysis, that does comparisons, that does judgments, that does imagination, right? All this is put together is thinking, right? The combination of all these things is what thinking is all about. It is an active mental movement that I am generating based upon certain, either it can be precondition or post condition, doesn't matter, right? So what is happening is energy in relation to thinking. If I'm trying to bring the perspective, hey, when I am thinking, what is happening, how my energy is moving. Okay. So take in the example earlier, we said when you are doing deep meditation, you are in the calm energies. When I am with the calm energies, I have a very clear thinking. See the connection there? When I have anger or fear, I am with disturbed energy. When I am with disturbed energy, what happens is I have a very compulsive thinking. It's like, it's like directly proportional to the type of energy that you carry in any given moment. So what happens when I am relaxed and I'm thinking? You probably will get some good solutions. What happens when you are anxious and you are thinking? You are getting into looping thoughts, right? You are patronizing the thoughts again and again, again and again, again and again, because you are very anxious, because your energy is distorted, energy is disturbed. What happens? You repeatedly think about the same thing in different patterns, right? So the way you need to look at is, when we talk about energy, how does that energy influence the thinking? Is thinking speed and the quality depends on the energy. How many of you agree on this statement? Thinking speed and quality depend on energy. Yes or no? Yes? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Right? It's a very bold statement, right? Because that's why it is fundamental. Energy is fundamental. If I am not able to pull my energy together, then I don't have a very clear thinking or a patternized thinking that I wanted to get out of. Same goes in effect to thoughts, right? What is thought? Anyone? What is thought? In context of energy, what is thought?
It's it's an intellectual process that comes out of from our samskaras, vasanas.
Mm-hmm. It is. So in the context of thought, in the context of energy, if I say, hey, what is thought? Right? Thought is a direction of energy. Remember, right? Whenever you are bringing a thought, that thought is a direction of energy, right? Because thoughts are patterns and shapes that direct energy. Because now you have started to direct the energy, right? That is what thought is all about. Why we say that? Even in the science, neuroscience, we talk about the repeated thoughts create neural patterns. Thoughts decide where the energy flows. We know about this, right? The rule of thumb is energy flows where attention goes. So it is very important that what type of thought pattern that you are establishing yourself into, because that is where your energy is going. Whether you know it or you don't know it, whether you like it or you don't like it, it is that pattern of thought that is creating everything, because that's where the energy is going. If you continuously have a negative pattern, this is why manifestation does not work for everyone. The reason why manifestation does not work for everyone is because you may have the words coming out of your mouth saying that you want to manifest, you want to do this as affirmations, but your thought pattern is not aligned to that, then manifestation is not going to happen. You cannot manifest the affirmations or whatever you want to intend. The intent is never manifested because your thought pattern is exactly opposite. Because energy flows where your attention goes. If your attention is going on a thought pattern which is creating these neural pathways that are not aligned to your intention, are not aligned to the words of wisdom, then they create an opposite effect. See, when you have a thought pattern like, just throwing few examples, right? Let's talk about, that way we can connect to the subject. I'm safe, right? What is the effect of my energy when I feel like I am safe? Is I'm relaxed. I'm kind of most likely, very expansive. I mean, just having that movement, right? What if you feel like something is wrong? Your energy is tensed, you're contracted, you're like shrinking yourself, right? Trying to figure out how it is. When you say that, I, a classic example would be, um, I must have control of the situation. When you have a thought pattern like, hey, I should take care of the control here, or I should control this conversation, or I should control this group, have some kind of control or authority, then you feel like your energy is heavy, right? You're holding up the energy. You feel like your shoulders are burdened. It's very tight. Or what if you say, I accept it, let it be as it is, I don't care anymore, right? My thoughts are like, I just want to be the way it needs to be. Then how do you feel the energy? The energy is flowing, energy is natural, energy is expansive. So what happens is, anything that you are trying to put together, there is a form of energy that gets trickled out of it. That's the observation has to come. When you are emotionally attached to something, whether it is positive or negative, there is an act of energy that is happening, effect of energy, that you need to grab onto. And if we understand that, and since energy is fundamental to everything, you start to align towards that, because we are energy beings, yeah, after all, right? So how do I create my thought pattern? If I create a thought pattern where I am constantly pushing negativity, then what happens? Either I am contracted, I am tensed, I am heavy, I am tight. I'm not allowing myself to expand. I'm not allowing myself to flow. I'm blocking everything, because my thoughts are repeatedly created with a negative effect. So energy is blocked, energy is not flowing. When energy does not flow, then there is no way you can manifest the intention that you are looking for. This is root and fundamental to everything. That's where awareness comes in play, right? You got to be able to be aware to understand that you are blocking your own energy. You are not flowing, right? Energy is supposed to flow. It's not flowing. So if you try to bring that perspective, hey, how thoughts are directing the way my energy needs to go. Wherever my attention is going, my energy is going there, right? Energy, thought, then comes the beautiful concept of emotion. What is emotion in context of energy? This is also very important, because this is what defines how you're gonna make things happen, how fast you want a reality, how fast whatever I'm thinking here, how do I make it a reality? Through a emotion. So what is emotion in context of energy? Emotion is nothing but the movement of energy. Thought is a direction of energy. Emotion is a movement of energy. Energy, we call emotion equal to energy in motion, right? So how do I represent that? I have a emotion called fear. I have a very contracting energy, very shrinked energy, right? I am expressing love. emotion. I have a very expanding energy. I'm open to it, and then I'm receiving a lot. I'm I'm very, I'm showing my anger. You're very angry. Then you are explosive, right? Most likely explosive energy, which is not good, because you're losing a lot of energy. You're showing gratitude, or you are being very polite, thankful. Then you are having pleasant energies or balanced energies. So it is very important what emotion you carry along with your thought pattern. If my thought pattern is one of these things, hey, I'm afraid of something, and that is creating a pattern, and you are constantly pushing this movement of energy through your emotion, what is happening is you're fast tracking it. You're fast tracking it to make it happen immediately, right? If I put a scientific perspective to this, right, the hormones, the so-called cortisol, oxytocin, all these things, right, the rhythmic heart pattern changes, the muscular tension that you create, all that is happening because of the emotional aspect of it. Anytime you have a fearful thought, you generate some kind of anxiety. When you create some kind of anxiety, you have stomach tightness. Example, right? Simple example. This is how the pattern establishes. When you have a thought of love, a universal love, a joyful love, then you have a joyful emotion that you generate, which will bring you a relaxed breathing, a relaxed, body state. So emotion or responses, right? It is very important that we understand, without that emotion there is no way you can manifest anything. So emotion is an important factor, because the movement of energy happens through emotion. So emotions are very, very important. And you may also look at it, hey, can the emotion make the reality? No, emotion itself is not reality, but they are responses to thoughts. Whatever your thoughts, emotion is a response to that. If you have fear, then anxiety is an emotion. If you have love, then joy, is emotion that you get attached to it. So it is with emotion you fast track the process to make sure once you have the direction, the neuropaths are generated. Now the movement of energy flows through your emotion, then you are ready for the manifestation. So it's very important that we start to accept and understand why emotion is an important factor in the entire systemic process. The entire visualization process is emotion, right? Because you are imagining through your own emotional factor, trying to fast track whatever you wanted to manifest. But today, the session is not about manifestation. The session is all about energy, right? How energy affects in all these things. In every action and reaction, how does energy affect? How do I come back to the fundamental layer, the base factor of energy? So emotions are responses to thoughts, not reality itself. It's a very important point. Then comes, after the emotion is done, then you go into the factor where you are now talking about words. Till that time, it's everything is subtle. Now you're talking about words. Now you wanted to manifest something. How does it work? What are words made of? In context of energy, what are words? Anyone?
I think the best way of the meditation, proper and best way, which can help us to calm our mind, and automatically everything will be balanced.
Yes, that is true. But I think what we need to start to look at is what are words in context of energy. What are words? Like we talked about, thoughts are the direction of energy, emotions are the movement of energy. Now, what are words? Whatever you're saying.
Expressions.
Exactly. Expressions, right? Energy that is made audible, right? Words are energized sound vibrations. Because what happens is, whatever the words, the spoken words you carry have emotional charge. Even the inner talk that we do. Sometimes you don't talk out loud, you talk inside of you. Even that is equally powerful. Energy that is made audible is words. Whatever the emotion that you are feeling inside of you, if you have an expression to that, that's words. So words are the most powerful thing in the context of energy, because they are vibrations you are sending out there, saying that that is what. That's why no matter in which pattern you look at it, in top down or bottom up or whichever way, the only thing that you have control is what you say. Because whatever you are saying, the words that are coming out of you are the energized sound vibrations that you are sending, and they are emotionally charged. There is no taking back. That's it. Once you say it, it's out there. That's it. So
But
absolutely clear.
I have a question here, Anil Garu.
Yes, ma'am. Please.
As like what I'm noticing is, as we are doing more and more meditation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our emotions, at least, that's my observation. My emotions are, things are not really bothering me, and I'm emotionally, I'm really not reacting. I mean, like the emotions are getting very subtle and subtle day by day.
Mm-hmm.
They're really not bothering me. So, like, how is it helping in manifestation then? Like, as you said, like, the emotions, that's a faster track of ma- manifestation, right? But I'm noticing a lot of uh, emotions are very well balanced now. I'm not really getting emotional. Like, I should say, like 70% of my emotions got cut, and I'm really not reacting and all. Is that helping in my manifestation, or going in other way around?
So there are three things, ma'am. One is, for manifestation to work, you have to have a consistent thought pattern. Number one.
Mm.
That consistent thought pattern should have a emotion, right? A consistent emotion that carries through it, and the words that you speak out of it, the charge that you speak out of it. They all three have to align. Of course, if you're visualization, if you're doing visualization, then you action part is little lesser. But if you're not visualizing, then you have to take steps towards it, which is action, right? Behavior aspect of it. So 3+1. Right? So if you have this in that consistent way, then manifestation should happen as it stands, right? Because your thoughts are aligned, you have an equal emotion going into the thoughts, which is like energy is dispensed into the thought, and then your words are carried with the emotional charge, which make the reality happen. If my manifestation is not working, then it has to be one of these things. Somewhere there is a misalignment in terms of what I am saying, what I am feeling, what I am thinking, and what I am doing, if that matters. If any of those are not aligned, then manifestation won't work, because we create a conflicting pattern.
Okay.
Master, I have a one quick question.
Mhm.
Why the meditation will not automatically balance all those things?
Meditation will balance it, madam, but meditation does not allow you to have, see, if you have an intention that you want to manifest and you do deep meditation and you don't put any intention, then it works according to your nature. But if you want to have an intention that you want to manifest, then you create that intention and you do meditation, and accordingly it will balance. Of course, meditation is the source of awareness, is the source of everything, right? See, if you are aware, then you can have full access to your thoughts, right? The patterns of thoughts.
Mhm.
You know the emotional state that you are in. You have full control of the words that are coming out of you, and your actions align to the words that you say, right?
Mhm.
So meditation is fundamental to all of these things because meditation gives you awareness, and awareness is route to manage your energies.
Mhm.
That is there for sure. But where you get distracted or distorted is one of these things is not aligned, then you will not be able to manifest what you want to get. See, you may say that, okay, I want a beautiful car. I want to manifest. You created a very consistent thought pattern that you want this type of a car, this color of a car, and all that, right? But you do not have the emotional, feeling that, hey, you really want this. You are like, you urge to have something like that for your, immediate use and all that, right? You don't have that. It's going to take time. Or you may probably have the emotion, but you're not saying about it, you're not confident about it, you're not putting action towards it. You never researched about the car, you never understood, you never went to the dealer, you never paid the advance and nothing like that, then it is not going to happen. So all four of them have to be aligned towards the intention, whatever the intention that you have. And that's why awareness is the most important aspect of it, and awareness comes through meditation. Of course, meditation is fundamental to all of this.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, in coming to the context of the words, why words matter? Because whatever the words that you are using, we are using, they are the, see, words are the imprints of emotions, and emotions are the imprints of energy. So, fundamentally, energy is getting distracted or distorted based upon how you are emotionally charging it and how you are expressing in that words. If, like, if I'm continuously as a self talker to myself, I criticize myself, I constant criticize myself. What happens if I constantly criticize myself as, hey, I cannot do this, this is not for me, you're not ready for it, don't get it, you're not qualified, you do this, you are that, keep talking to myself. What happens? They imprint, create a very low energy pattern. It creates a low confidence within me at the emotional level, which will give me a very low energy. My vibrations are very, very low. I won't be able to do anything. What if I have a very kind inner dialogue? Hey, I am good at it. I can do this. There is nothing that is not possible. I am a godly divine being. I am there. I just need to figure out how to get it done. Then you have that emotional stability, which will give you higher energy. It is like so directly relationship, right? Relation wise. That's why words imprint emotions and emotions imprint energy. So every time, how you have to see, we have to understand the awareness will help you to see the energy part of it, right? That's why it's always good to be in that awareness. Hey, you feel like I always fail. You have the energy effect of it is, hey, you're draining yourself, or you're shrinking yourself. You're feeling that there's something lost from you because you're always thinking that I'm a failure, right? If you say, repeatedly, it is okay, I'm ready to learn, I'm ready to try, I will do my best, keep doing that, then you feel like you have very supportive energies, in the awareness pattern, right? If you really observe it, you feel like, okay, you're healing, you're very supportive, things are working towards that goal, whatever, it's okay, or learning and all that. If you say that I cannot do this, this is not for me, anything that has a very negative effect to it, you're blocking the energy. It's like the energy comes but then does not go out, you're blocking it. When you say I will try, I will do my best, let me see what I can do, you are opening the channels. So it is very important what you say, because those are emotional charges that you're sending out there. You may probably look for something, hey, I want to buy a car, and then immediately you say, I don't know how to do it, gone. That's it, you just blocked it. It happens so naturally for most of it, because we are not aware of our energy patterns, our energy imprints. And that's why meditation helps you to really bring it back, to say that, okay, what am I saying? I have to be very conscious when I'm saying that, what I'm thinking about getting and what I am saying, if they don't align, then it will never happen. Because thought is only a direction. When I'm putting the words to it, I'm actually putting that expression, which is like, it has to happen. That is the state that I am getting into, where it is not final manifestation, but it is almost there. Right? It's very, very important. Now, the final aspect of it, which is action, equally important. When you look at the words, the way you say the words matter, the way you act matters. If I say energy in a more audible way, is words, right? Sound vibrations that you're releasing is through words. What is action? Action is energy in physical expression. It is the way how you translate into a behavior. Actions are energy translated into behavior. The final most step before anything can happen. So in the case of earlier, we talk about um, calm energies, right? When I'm with calm energies, what should be the way I should physically express? Very thoughtful action. Whatever I'm doing in that very moment, I'm very thoughtful. When you have impulsive energy, not impulsive, more agitated energies, distorted energies, right? Anger, fear, guilt, shame, whatever, like those low vibration energies, then you are in a more impulsive way. Your actions are very impulsive. It's erratic. It's sporadic, right? I mean, you can't really control which way to go, which way to look, which way to see, because your mind is totally distorted, and then action is going other way around. you know you get, like, a lot of times you get frustrated, we throw the phone, we do things, a lot of that stuff happens, right? So it is very important that we understand that energy that you are carrying is how all these things are coming together. The root is energy. Everything is energy. So if I'm not able to balance that energy at any channel, at any point in this channel, starting from thought, thinking, emotion, which is the feeling aspect of it, and then words and action, anywhere you can get distracted or distorted, and then you can lose it. That's why it is very important that Meditation has to happen every single day for you to be in that awareness, state of awareness. It is absolutely easy to manifest anything, provided you bring all of them together. So if I try to put that perspective, as an example, if we take one example, you are getting disrespected. Let's suppose, I'm getting disrespected. That is my thought. Okay, I felt, we are sitting together. As an example, I felt that I am disrespected. What is my emotion? My emotion, immediate emotion would be an anger, right? Outburst. What is my state of energy? It's very heated, right? It's very tensed because I have got that anger. I felt that I got disrespected. How would my words be, right? It will not be pleasant for sure. It will be very harsh tone, right? It can be very, very, unsubtle, unpleasant. And how would my action be? Argumentative, altercative, something like that, right? So one thing creates so much of thing, within that shortest span of time, that five things are going to come out in different way. My thought says I'm disrespected, immediately follows my emotion, which gives me the anger, which has elevated or heated energies that I carry, which would help me to, say, express myself in a very harsh tone, at which point you get very argumentative. Can I avoid it? You can absolutely avoid it depending upon how you bring your thought, because thought is the direction of energy. When in my thought or in my thinking pattern, if I'm saying that, okay, whatever this movement of discussion that is going on, instead of feeling that I am disrespected, I'm feeling that this is a temporary jolt, right? A temporary movement of it. Then what happens? Immediately your emotion is accepted. You accept that, okay, the thought pattern you created, hey, this is a temporary thing. I don't have to react. I don't have to feel, just the thought got created. Immediately the emotion comes saying that accept it. Energy is very calm. Your words are very softened. You have very controlled voice. You are very soft in your vocabulary. And action is towards resolution, towards a solution, towards the outcome, towards coming out of the discussion. So it is very important that how you create that thought pattern, because once the direction gets created, subsequently whatever you are doing, you are just creating all the drama, and that is going to happen. That is your thoughts get manifested, whether you like it or not, whatever you patronize. Go ahead, Dinesh sir.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Thank you for explaining all this. But I have a question on the. You just said, like, if somebody are insulting you
Mhm.
by listening to certain words, so instead of reacting, how can you just create positive thought in your mind? Like, okay, I'm not going to respond. That's one. Or second thing, how do you take that positively and not react?
So, awareness. The answer to your question is awareness, sir. When you are aware, you don't react. Number one. Number two, the best ways to avoid any conflicts or any kind of altercative situations is to go in silence. Silence is the mantra. Most of the time, what happens is you are emotionally charged because somebody said something, and you have to say it back, right? You have to give it back. Why do we have this attitude of giving it back? Is because you don't feel like, hey, Why would that is someone else impression of me? Why should I care about it? That happens because you're not aware of your own thing. When you are aware, when you are as a meditator, if you are in that awareness, what happens? You have the clarity. When you have the clarity, you don't react, you just respond. Even if it happens in that very moment, while you're saying it or right after that, you will be able to come back to the situation and then control it. Most of the times you will lose it if you take the other person's word for granted and you don't have that energies. It is the energy that runs this whole thing. That's the reason it is important that you carry that higher energies.
What if you're expected to respond? Like if the other party is expecting you to respond in any ways, whether
Yeah,
it's
you respond. See, you respond the way you respond. You don't respond the way the situation has to ask you to respond, right? If I am falling for the situation, then I'm not having the energies, right? If the situation is taking control of me, then the situation has higher energies than me. And if the situation is a lower vibration, then I carry that lower vibration. The idea here is no matter what is happening, you always are in that state of awareness, the higher energies. When you are in the higher energies, you are able to settle the lower vibrations or lower frequencies to make sure that they are not hurting you. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, got it. Thank you, sir.
So it's important that sometimes it may very well so happen, but I think the awareness is the answer to the question, right? Hey, am I aware? If you are aware, you cannot make the mistake. But if you are not aware, then you may very well be shouting back or yelling or screaming or maybe reacting, whatever it is. At that point, it doesn't matter because you are in the lower vibration too. Yeah, madam. Someone said here, I think we can also do breathing slowly inside of us. Yeah, I mean, all that, anything that you can do to bring back yourself, I think all that helps. But I think the moment of awareness is more important because when somebody is saying something, you cannot focus on breath, right?
So, sir, one thing is, uh, yeah, that is what you were saying is really very eye-opening information. But I just want to add was something to that, like
Mhm.
when we are aware of our emotions, by being aware of our emotions or aware of our mental patterns, we will be less affected by the mental patterns. Say, for example, the same thing Dinesh Gar was just telling about the getting angry because of somebody insulting. So if we are practicing that awareness, we come to the point where we see that emotion of anger is coming in our mind. We are seeing that emotion is coming, but we don't react. Instead, we let the emotion go. Emotion just pass away, and then we take a step back and we start analyzing that what are the other person has insulted. Is there any validity in that or not? If there's a validity, then you respond it appropriately with a different with a calm pattern rather than responding in a violent way, responding in a very calm mode. Right, sir? Is that
No,
how?
absolutely, absolutely. I'll
So
give you. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
by doing so, I'm thinking we are also breaking the pattern of our what do you call the impulsive pattern that we have built up from our past actions.
Correct.
So gradually, by doing so and so, we are transforming our personality or character in a positive way.
Correct. No,
You got,
well
you
said.
got-
Yes, yes. Well said, sir. Well said.
yeah. So this is all very good. The one thing where I need some explanation on that. I have difficulty in understanding is mentally okay. I understand in within the mental, we are aware of the mental energies and we are aware of the emotions and thoughts. If we have to transform them into actions, action is not at the mental level. Actually, action is at the physiological level. So you basically have to pull your physical body to do some action to. Like, let me give a simple example. Like if we make a determination, I want to get up every day in the morning at 5 a.m. And go for meditation, sit for meditation. The next day morning, I get up 5 a.m. I get that mental energy. But how do I associate that with my physical energies so that I can drag my body out of my what do you call, bed and go and wash my face and sit for the meditation. I mean, how do you translate that into physical way?
See, the easiest way is to understand the importance of it. You have to understand the priority and the importance, the seriousness and the sincerity if you build as part of your cloud practices. Your physical aspect is only action. See, what is action? Actions are the final visible outcomes of invisible energy, isn't it? Right?
Yes.
Something that you have inherently inside of you, that is the final action that's coming out. But everything else is pushing, it is meant to happen. Why is that I'm stuck at the physical layer, not at the other layers? Is because I have not given that priority or the attention that is needed for me to understand the depth of it. If I have a particular doubt, see what is happening is we do procrastination. How do you avoid procrastination? Is by doing it and then procrastinating it, right? If I want to get out of this lethargic life where I'm not able to get up and do, like, in this example, you're saying I have to get up at 5 a.m. and do something. The best way to overcome that is to get up, do it, and then go back to sleep. If at all you want to really want to go back to sleep. It is that priority that in your mental space that you give it to it will determine whether the physical action will happen as part of it or you have a block towards it. If I understand that meditation is the way of living, and meditation, without meditation I will not have awareness, and if I see awareness is the ultimate for everything, right?
Right.
Then I got to be able to pull that in my own sincere way, right? In a serious way, to make sure that my physical aspects are working towards that. But if I don't understand it, I'm half knowledged, or I don't have the priority attention because I've got 10 other things going on. At that point, at some point, the physical aspect will get hurt, which is what you were talking. I mean, yes, I have the inclination to get up. I understand the importance of it, but I'm not able to do it. Why you're not able to do it? Because you're not sincere and serious towards your own practice.
Right.
So repeatedly listening to it, right? Hey, repeatedly say, if anything you want to do, the best way to do it is repeatedly do it again and again. That way it becomes a pattern, and once it becomes a pattern, the physical aspect is spontaneously, it just happens. There is no block there. It's a flow.
But until that habit is have a habit, until it becomes a habit, we have to strongly associate our emotion of importance
Absolutely.
to bring it
Emotion
up.
is must, sir. Emotion, the feeling is must.
Okay.
See, if you want to read Bhagavad Gita and morning I want to get up and read Bhagavad Gita, you have to have that touch, right? That feel has to be there for you to say that, okay, why you are doing it? What is that you are getting out of it? Why this is important at this juncture of your life, right? If that emotion you don't have it, and naturally the physical aspect is not going to happen. But if you are able to give that touch to say that, okay, without this I cannot survive, only through this my life goes into peace and harmony, then it just happens.
Okay.
Example, right?
Yeah.
So coming back to earlier question, right, to Dinesh, sir, I want to give. See, what are relationships, right? So somebody is talking to you, or you are saying something to the relationships are exchange of energy, right? They are not just interactions. When two people are talking here, like even today we are talking here, this is exchange of energy. This is not just interaction, right? How does the energy transfer? It's a tone of your voice. It is your facial expressions. It is your emotional presence. It is your listening quality. The quality. Most of you are videos are off, right? How much are you able to really listen? All this is exchange of energy. How much of it are you able to grasp? Everything. So if in the exchange of energies, if things are aligned, things are aligned, then you don't see any kind of distortion. But if things are not aligned, if the other person has a raised voice and you are able to balance it with a calm voice, then there is an opportunity of exchange. But if other person has raised voice and you have a raised voice, there is no acceptance there, right? There is no question of exchange. It's that collision. That collision is happening, right? So it is important that relationship, when you're looking at relationships, when you're looking at interaction with others, how others are reacting, how others reaction is impacting me as an individual in a room or outside a room or in a group, outside a group, etc. You have to understand it's a shared energy field. When you are outside, you are in a shared energy field. Everything matters. If you have, like, as an example, if you have one person who is very calm in a very tensed room, your room settles, isn't it? You will see that, right? If you have one anxious person, right, who is anxiously, very anxious, he's like tensed, he's very emotional, he's sitting in the room, that anxiety spreads across because it's a shared energy field. Now, where is the difference? How do I perceive this difference? How do I bring this whole thing together? That is the reason you have to be aware. When you are in that aware, you are always in the present state. When you are in the present state, you are just looking at the balance of the energy. That's why it's very important, meditation, right? Without meditation, it's hard. So our energy, our words, our emotions, right, actions, they all come back. Whatever the energy you carry, whatever the words you speak, whatever the emotions, the other's emotion that you carry in that relationship, in that room, in that shared field of access, the collective actions that they are performing will come back to you. It's a loop. It's a loop. It's an energy field. That's why we can, when we sit together and do group meditation, we talk about collective consciousness. Why? Even one person sitting and doing meditation who goes into the higher state, everybody will get balanced. Why it happens? It's exactly the way this thing is. It just makes it happen. So ultimate aspect of how we need to look at it is always try to bring some structure, be sincere, serious. Awareness is the way of living, right? If I want to be aware, I have to be meditating every single day, right? I have to have emotional regulation for my healthy lifestyle. I have to have a very clear communication, concise and clear communication. I have to be in a very non-reactive awareness because everything matters. It is with the awareness the energy starts to flow, right? Awareness, energy, thoughts, thinking, of course, emotions, words, actions. Obviously, with that comes relationships, and with relationship, you loop it back into energy. This is a continuous loop that gets created, and most of the time it happens unconsciously for all of us. Unconsciously, it happens. That is. After actions come, you have that relation, right? Interactive relation that you do, which will give you back that energy. Whatever the energy you dispersed as part of your action, it takes it back to the energy, then it loops back again. This process is a very, very continuous process. This happens for a long time, right? Everyone will go through it. But bringing that awareness into the picture, you have an ability to break that pattern, that routine, right? That imprints, whatever you are carrying, you can dissolve that. That's why it's very important that without awareness, a lot of this is going to be mechanical. It just happens. That's it. You don't have any way to bring it back together, right?
So one quick question, sir. What would be the role of what is the role of mindfulness in developing this awareness? Does it have any role?
Absolutely, sir. Mindfulness is the presence, right? You are in the present moment. So you are in that awareness, right? So what is mindfulness is basically in that very present moment, whatever you are not in the past, you are not carrying the past imprints, you are not looking at the future, right? The aspects of worrying. You are in the very present moment. You are calm, right? If you have practiced mindfulness, then you will be able to respond very, very concisely for any situation. But it has to be practiced, though. It just doesn't come. Because meditation is different than mindfulness. Meditation is basically bringing that awareness into the state. Mindfulness is being present in that very moment that you are in. It's like your words, your thoughts, your actions, everything is aligned towards that present moment. So the productivity has to be there. It's 100% productive, right? Whatever you're doing, it will be 100% productive. That's what we call karma yogi, right?
Right. So
So
basically, it should be the combination of channeling the energy through emotions and mindfulness brings the best output.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah. Very, very, it's one of the most important thing, right? Outside of meditation, you are to be mindful. When you are meditating, you build that awareness. You cultivate that awareness, right? To make sure that every situation you are exactly be aware what is happening internally, externally. See, I'll give an example, a classic example. We all go through workplace stress, right? If I have a thought that I am being judged, I am being, controlled, or I have some kind of, uncomfortableness at my workplace, right? Insecurity. Immediately you carry this emotion of fear. I mean, we all experience it, right? At some point. What happens to my energy? The energy pattern significantly contracts. My ability, I'm not open anymore. I've just closed myself. I've blocked, I've contracted, right? Totally contracted. My words will become very, very, defensive, right? I'm not gonna be openly talking. I'm not gonna be, receiving. I'm just be very, very defensive. At which point my actions is avoid the situation, avoid the moment. Just that one thing what I brought in, and I create a pattern of it, everything starts to trickle into it. The ultimate thing is you distance yourself from that situation, whether it is your team, your manager, your colleague, or whatever may be that uncomfortable circumstances that you have. You are gonna distance yourself from that. Just an example, right? So this is again all at every point the energy is there, right? If I am not aware, this is a natural instinct. It just happens. You cannot say no, right? It just happens. That's it. What if I am meditatively aware? Let's talk about that, right? Your energy is very balanced. Okay, what you say in your thought is okay. You are being judged, or somebody is saying something. You say, okay, let me listen. Let me consciously listen to what the conversation is. Your emotion is not outbursted. Your emotion is very balanced. you're more like compassionate, right? You're saying, okay, let me see what this is all about. And then once the information comes your way, you're not very defensive, you're very calm in your words. A very actions are very supportive responses because you are aware, right? And the relationship that you built as part of that conversation, whatever is going on there, is your trust will deepen. There is an opportunity that each of you trust each other.
So you become more like a contributor rather than
Exactly. Instead of looking at avoiding and distancing, now you are getting supportive and trusting just because you are aware. Go ahead, sir. Dinesh, sir. You have a question?
Yes, sir. So I was going to say, like what you said is a little bit easier to deal with like outsiders or, office environment or anywhere else versus family could be a little difficult. So can you elaborate on that? Like if same kind of backlash is coming from your family?
Yeah, absolutely, sir. See, whether it is coming from someone within the family, within the closest of our, relationship, or coming from the farthest of the relationship, it is all about how you are receiving it. That's where awareness does not distinct between the characters, right? Because the interrelationship between the parties, hey, it is my family member who is saying this, I should take this seriously, or hey, it is my work, somebody, my colleague is saying I should take it seriously. Awareness works in all contexts, right? But the effect of it shifts, depends upon how you are receiving it. That's why it is important it is very important that we understand why meditation helps, right? Why meditation works at the root energy level. If I do not meditate, right, irrespective of what may be, that you will react. I mean, there is no way your words are stable, or your emotions are balanced, or your thoughts are not contradicting to the reality as to what is happening there, or what you want it to happen versus what is happening on the ground. And of course your actions won't speak out of it as well. Where it comes is when you are, see, the question is whether you are aware or not. That's the question. Because awareness is not situational. Awareness is something that you carry within you at a root level, which helps you to stabilize your energies, reduce your compulsive thoughts, regulates your emotions. Because in all aspects of it, you are aware. You are aware mentally, you are aware emotionally, you are aware, by words as to what you're saying, and you are aware physically. So even if somebody is saying something to you, even the closest person is saying something to you, if you are in that awareness, you're not going to burst out.
Yes, sir. I think it takes a little bit of practice of that too. Like few times you you react one way and then you think about it, and next time you think, okay, how can I do better next time? And you will do better next time.
See, the question is, see, you're trying to change the effect. You're saying that, okay, I'm trying to make the effect, uh, the impact of the effect, right? In a lighter way, or medium way, or higher way, and all that, right? Where I am coming from is, it is that awareness, the level of awareness that you carry will determine how that impact is going to be. So for the level of awareness, you have to grow the level of awareness. For that, it is more meditation. That's why meditation works at the root energy level, right? Which will help you to stabilize your energies, reduce your compulsive thoughts. It emotionally regulates yourself. It will soften the way you speak, the words aspect of it. It refines your actions, right? And obviously, with all these things you carry, it has to build and help the relationship, right? It cannot be the other way around.
Okay. Yeah, so higher energy carrying will help with all this.
Exactly. It is the energy and the awareness that will help you to bring all of that together. It doesn't really matter who the person is and what the situation is. Change your energy, everything aligns naturally. That's
Sir, and
the
other
one.
thing is just piggyback on what Dinesh sir said, that so even when we are dealing there, I mean, like interacting with other people in a different environment. Say we are interacting with our close family members in one instance, another instance in the work, we are interacting with our co-workers or teammates or team leads. The roles and responsibilities, the framework of roles and responsibilities becomes a part of that awareness. Is that how it should be put in?
Yes.
I mean, what the limitations, the constraints, the nature of the roles and responsibilities. Because if I have multiple roles to play. Sometimes I play a role of husband. Sometimes I play a role of a father. I play a role of a son. Or I play a role of a brother. This is within the family. When I go to the work, I play a role of a subordinate. I play a role of a manager. So there's a different roles you play. So when you are aware and you're continuing your awareness and you're continuing your daily activities through with awareness, so that awareness itself will give that particular framework automatically, like the constraints and the nature of the framework will be automatically available for us to avail, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's why, see, if you change your energy, everything else aligns naturally. It has to. It is the energy that you carry. And the more energy you carry, the more aware you are in any given situation. Doesn't matter where it is. It doesn't really matter. So that's why it is important to understand how meditation transforms. This is how meditation transforms. Without, see, if I am looking for meditation to have experiences, I'm not building my awareness, right? I'm just looking for experiences all the time. You have to come to a point where you should say, okay, meditation is for meditation alone. That's it. It's for me to build my awareness. And in that state of awareness, you cannot go wrong. That's the point. Because the energy that you carry, everything will align to your energy, not the other way around.
Right.
Go ahead, ma'am. Sri Lata, ma'am. Yeah.
Anil Master, so as we, after coming into meditation, we know that we cannot react, but we can observe and choose to be calm or bypass the situation. But before, we must have hurt someone by saying something or by reacting to the situations. But we cannot go back and correct the things. But can we ask people, like, in the meditation, can we ask the forgiveness or, for the whatever we have said or,
You can, ma'am. Yes, you can. The simple answer is yes, you can. You can ask for forgiveness in meditation for the very souls that you have bothered or disturbed in the past, and and ask for forgiveness. It should happen.
Got it. Thank you, Master.
Yeah, it's possible. So in short, so if we put this into perspective, right? Awareness shapes the energies. Thoughts create emotions. Emotion charge words. Words shape actions. Action always builds relationships, and relationships reflect the kind of energy you carry, and the energy is reshaped by awareness. This is the cycle. This cycle goes on and on and on and on and on. Whether you are consciously aware of it or it is happening unconsciously, that is what is happening. So if each of us are sitting and saying that, hey, I want to get something in my life, and somewhere I'm not able to track it or parse it, the answer is in today's session. Somewhere something is not lining up that is helping you to get what you are looking to get. Or whatever the thought pattern I wanted to change, I'm not able to change it because I'm repeatedly doing it. If I'm saying that I'm ill, I'm not happy, I'm not happy, I'm not happy, you're continuing to do that, you are not going to be happy eventually. How? Because the energy is going to that. Who is giving that energy? You are giving that energy. Unconsciously, you are giving that energy through your thoughts or emotions or actions or words. Right? Good discussion today. Any questions? I know this is a very deep subject, but I just wanted to connect. We always talk about a lot of the manifestation, visualization aspect of it, but I want to bring the energy aspect to the conversation to see how the energy shift happens in one of these patterns. So, any other questions? Right. If no questions, masters, then let's get into full moon meditation today. Today is full moon day. Let's do next 2 hours. For whatever time you are here, please do meditation. I'll have the session run till 12 o'clock midnight. Next 2 hours or so. Let's do meditation, and then we'll close it out then. All right. Full moon meditation is all about sound to silence. So it is mostly silent meditation. No music is played. Drink some water. Keep a water bottle next to you because you will be very thirsty. If at all you feel thirsty in between meditation, also just don't open your eyes. Just drink that. Take 2 or 3 sips of water, and sit comfortably in your best postures. Close your eyes. Set yourself in for a deep state of meditation. As you start to observe your breath, just relax yourself. Keep your body calm, relaxed. Just have that wonderful feeling that you are getting into meditation. You want to have an absolute time. Just know that you are witness of everything. Just be with your breath, my dear masters. Be with your breath. Be with your breath.